Hello class, and welcome back to Mr. Poole's Online Learning. Today we're going over something that's kind of difficult for some students. It's fractions and decimals. Okay, so just listen carefully, and I hope you'll catch on to the way I'm showing you. Okay, if not, we'll find a way to get you to understand it. Okay, so I'm going to show you multiple different ways to look at it, but the first is our vocabulary. So the numerator in a fraction is a part of a whole number. So a fraction, okay, like a fraction like 1/2, that's part of a whole number. Okay, so that's what a fraction is. It's part of a whole number. It's not a whole number. It's actually a half. Okay, so fraction is a part of a whole number. Now, when you have a fraction, it's separated into two parts. It's separated. The top part is the numerator. The bottom part is called the denominator. Okay, the numerator are considered, let me do that in a different color. The numerator are the parts. Okay, the numerator are the parts. For this example, if I had the fraction of 4/10, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 parts are shaded. 4 is my numerator. 4 parts are shaded. The numerator is usually the shaded part. Okay? So the numerator is the shaded part. Whenever you're looking at a fraction or a picture, okay, that's the shaded part. And then the denominator are the parts of the whole. Whatever object you're looking at, it's the parts in the whole thing. So my denominator, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 spaces in the whole thing. That's where I get my denominator. That's why I get the 4 parts shaded out of 10 parts in the whole. So that's the whole parts. Okay, that's the whole thing. How many parts are in the whole? Okay, so that's where I get that. And then if you read this, it's read 4/10. That sounds exactly like our decimal point 4, which is 4/10. And that's how you figure it out what it is, because they sound exactly the same. It's 4/10, 4/10. Okay, they're exactly the same. So if I had, let's say I change this. And the parts shaded now are 7. So now it's 7/10. Well, that changes this to 7/10. Again, it sounds the same. It sounds exactly the same. So that makes sense that if they both sound the same and they're both the same thing, then they're equal. Okay, let's take a look down here. We see a circle, and I cut it in half, didn't I? So you would say that this is 1 part shaded out of 2 parts, correct? Yeah, it's 1 out of 2. Most people would agree with that. Okay, what if I made it into 4 parts? So now there's 1, 2, 3 parts in the whole. So now I'm changing that. Now there's 4 parts in the whole, but 2 are shaded. I haven't shaded any more parts. It's still the same circle, but now I just made more parts in the whole, right? So now 1/2 and 2/4, they're equal. They're equal, or we call that equivalent. Equivalent. And equivalent means equal. Okay? So this is another new vocabulary word, equivalent. This word is very important in 4th grade, so you should know what equivalent is. Equivalent means equal. So 1/2, the way I had it before without this line, 1 part out of 2. Well, now it's 2 parts are shaded, right? Remember, that's the numerator, is the shaded part. 2 parts are shaded out of 4. Well, what if I did this? What if I split those in half again, and then I did it again? What would that change our fraction to? Well, let's count. This part is still shaded, this part is shaded, this part is shaded, this part is shaded. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 shaded parts. I have 4 shaded parts out of how many in the whole thing? Remember, that's the parts in the whole. The parts in the whole thing. So how many parts? 1, 2. Well, here, let's start at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's count them. Here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now there's 8 parts. So my denominator over here is going to be 8. But I still haven't shaded anymore. I'm leaving it the same. I haven't shaded anymore. I'm just cutting it in different sections. So it's the same whole pie. I'm just cutting it into more slices or pieces, right? So 1/2 is the same as 2/4 is the same as 4/8, isn't it? Yeah, it's the same part as shaded. Okay, so we call those equivalent fractions. We'll learn more about them when we get into fractions, but I want to start you out on this. This is very important to know. So this is very important. You have to know this right here to understand fractions. The numerator is the top number. The denominator is the number on the bottom. The numerator are always the parts shaded. So in this example right here, this is the numerator right here, this red part, that's the 7. The parts of the whole, the parts in the whole thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's the denominator. The parts of the whole. Parts of the whole thing, parts of the whole thing. Okay? Whew, I know that was a lot of information, but anyway, try to take it in and try to digest it all and go through it. If you need to watch this again, watch it a second time. Guys, don't feel bad, because this is fractions is complicated. Okay? Because I'll just tell you, fractions is one of the hardest things that you'll do as a 4th grader. Okay? And There's a lot of complicated things as a fourth grader, but fractions is one of the toughest. Okay, so don't feel bad. Watch it again. See if it makes a little more sense the second time. Okay, guys? All right. Happy learning. Happy learning, guys. Bye.